This probably seems like the most comfortable position I could possibly film in, but it might be the most uncomfortable. I don't know what is happening today. If you can't film a pillow talk video laying down, then what video can you film laying down? The unfortunate truth is that I have tits that want me dead. I can't breathe. This is better for the both of us, truly. Hi guys. Let's pillow talk a little bit, shall we? I was, searching the internet for some inspiration while planning this video, and there's a lot of like wild pillow talk suggestions on the internet. I don't know if I just like stumbled upon something. I was looking for some inspiration and stumbled across like a few mom blogs that had like lists of pillow talk questions. Y'all are talking about some crazy shit after sex. So I've compiled a list of questions that I actually think are fun and that I would be down to talk about. But taste in terms of pillow talk varies, apparently. That's what I've learned over the course of making this video. To me, good pillow talk is like a mix of talking about sexual things, but also like emotionally bonding with someone. A little mix of both. And also a little bit of lightheartedness in here. Pillow talk doesn't have to be like, I don't know, really digging into someone's soul. It can be a little funny, a little goofy, flirty. I don't know. It's all about balance, right? But I think we should have a little bit of everything. I'll tell you what the blogger said, but before I do, we've got a sponsor today, baby. Sponsor of today's video is Dipsea. 'Tis the season to seek out pleasure in every area of your life, because you deserve it, baby. Whether it's how you start your mornings or how you wind down at night, Dipsea Stories wants to help you find confidence and joy in all aspects of your life, in and out of the bedroom. We've talked about them before on my channel if you've never heard of them. Dipsea Stories is an app full of hot, sexy stories designed to turn you on. And actually, they now have some written stories as well. Erotica is super fucking slept on. And audio erotica? Perhaps even more slept on. First of all, there are some talented ass, creative ass erotica writers out there. If you're looking for some inspiration in the bedroom, erotica is the #1 thing that I always recommend to people. And not only is it good for giving you inspiration for your own sex life, but it's just fucking hot. No matter what you're into or what turns you on, Dipsea helps to bring your fantasies to life anytime, anywhere. You can just close your eyes and let yourself drift off and be fully immersed in this world where it is only your pleasure that matters in a really safe, shame-free way. There's hundreds of stories to choose from, and they keep releasing new content every single week, so there's always something new to explore over on Dipsea. And for viewers of my channel, Dipsea is offering an extended 30-day free trial when you go to dipseastories.com/partylikeMaddie. That's a free extended 30-day trial when you go to dipseastories.com/partylikeMaddie. DIPSEA stories.com/partylikeMaddie. Please go check them out. Tell me what you think. I think you guys are gonna fucking love it. And thank you to Dipsea for sponsoring today's video. All right, so these fucking bloggers and some of the questions that they had on their pillow talk list. First of all, y'all are fucking intense. These were some of the questions on these pillow talk lists. If you had to choose between dying and breaking up with me, what would you choose? If you only had 2 choices, break up with me or jump from a building, why would you jump? Did your life have purpose before you met me? Are we okay? For fucking starters. That is an insane thing to ask anybody. I was reading this shit and I was like, there's no way that people are actually saying this shit after sex. They're like, so if you had to break up with me or kill yourself, tell me why you would kill yourself. And it's like, I wouldn't. I would not jump off a building. I would break up with you for fucking sure. What the fuck kind of question is that? These questions are so funny because the thing is that you wouldn't ask that question if you were like a rational person who was like, yeah, my partner should have like a purpose in life outside of me. I really hope my partner has like goals and aspirations and that they're a fully formed person outside of their relationship with me. If you're a rational thinking human being, you wouldn't even be asking this question. What do you mean? Did your life have purpose before you met me? Do you want, I feel like you're asking that because you want them to say, no, I was so lost and I knew nothing before I met you and you just lit up my life and changed my world and I'm like, guys, Come on. You should want your partners to like be fully formed people with purposes outside of you. And it's fucking weird to expect that of people. So I don't know. There were a lot of really fucking intense questions on these mommy blogger lists. I'm like, if this is how your guys' relationships are going, then I'm glad I'm single, bro. You guys are weird. Yeah, I can't. It's very Romeo and Juliet of these mommy bloggers. And I don't know if that's realistic. So anyways, here are some pillow talk questions that I think are not off the walls. And let's answer them. Let's have a chat. Let's have a little pillow talk, me and you. What are your primary love languages? My love language order for me, I believe, is quality time, acts of service, words of affirmation, gifts, and then physical touch. I'm not a toucher. I don't know. I want like very specific people to touch me, and everyone else can stay 6 feet away. It doesn't have a huge impact on how close I feel to people. What makes me feel close to people and what makes me feel loved is spending quality time with them. For me, quality time is always the number one thing. Like, time is the most precious thing that we have, and I feel the most loved when other people set aside time so they can really be present and thoughtful with me. And I think that's how I show people that I really care about them as well. And acts of service seems to tie into that for me, because it's still time, you know? Like, I think it's so valuable when people give me their time, when I give them my time. And an act of service requires time as well, you know? They took the time to run an errand for me or come over and make me dinner when I wasn't feeling well. Like, that's so special and that's so kind. So those two are definitely my primary love languages, just because I think it says so much about the way a person loves you when they show up for you. And words are nice, you know? Like, I love people expressing that I matter to them, but what feels better for me is when people show up with their actions. What song feels like falling in love to you? This is easy. This is a one-off answer. It's Just Like Heaven by The Cure. That song feels like falling in love. What slightly unusual location do you want to have sex in, and why do you think it excites you? I won't say what it is, but I will say that the reason why it excites me is because it's like a performance. Let me put it that way. That's all I'm gonna say. What do you value most in a friendship? I think what I value most in a friendship is probably loyalty. I find that this is something that I really give to my friendships because it's something that I value so much. Like, to me, being really loyal and devoted in a friendship means like feeling what your friends feel, feeling their happiness and their excitement and their high moments, and also feeling the lows and like feeling sad for them, feeling angry for them. Like, I'm the type of person where if you wrong one of my best friends, you are getting unfollowed immediately. You will never hear from me again. If you ever try to contact me, you will get blocked. If I ever see you out on the street, I will serve you a new one. And since I give that, it's what I value in return as well. I think that bond between two friends who are just like, I fuck with you. I will call you out and tell you my honest opinions when I think you're in the wrong. But when somebody crosses you, when somebody fucks with you, I am your number one fucking person. I am in your corner. I am loyal to you. I care about you. And like, I'm on your team. And I think it's so important to have friends that are so in your corner like that. Is it a sign of cynicism or wisdom to tolerate affairs? Yeah, it's definitely not a sign of wisdom to tolerate affairs. For starters, I don't think affairs are something that should be tolerated. Cheating to me is unforgivable. That being said, I'm not going to tell anyone else what they should or shouldn't do in their own relationships. If you want to stay with someone after you have been cheated on, by all means. If you were my best friend, I would fight with you on that because you deserve so much more and I love you, bestie. But I'm never going to judge someone for staying with someone after they have been cheated on. I think that it is a complicated and very emotional thing to work through. And it makes sense that a lot of people go back. No judgment over here. Do I think it's a sign of wisdom? No, for sure not. I don't think that accepting cheating as being okay for you means that you are somehow like a grade above everyone else and you're just so wise and you're like, it's the human condition. Nobody can be truly loyal to one person. And it's like, I disagree. So no, I don't find it wise. I do find it cynical. If someone is like, well, this is just how it is, people cheat and like we live with it, I do find that cynical. I think that it is more than okay to expect your partners to not lie to you and be monogamous if that is what you two have decided. If you want to be with other people, you should have that conversation, communicate. I don't think that there's ever an excuse not to communicate. And I usually think that people who try to justify what they do is like, oh, it's just part of life. Nobody's ever truly loyal. Like, that's an excuse to avoid communicating, which feels harder to them. Because a lot of people are very immature, if you want my 2 cents on the matter. So anyways, I find it cynical. Obviously, I'm a hopeless romantic. And we don't like cheaters. How do you like to be comforted when you're upset? I love this question because it is so different for everyone, and knowing how someone likes to be comforted when they're upset is so important to help them feel understood and connected to you. And obviously that's what all of us want when we're trying to comfort a friend or a loved one, partner, whatever. You want them to feel wrapped up by you, but sometimes we just don't know how to make each other feel that way. So I love this question. When I'm upset, I just want to feel validated. Like, I want someone to be in my corner, similarly to what I said, what I value in a friendship. Like, when I'm upset and I want to be comforted, I just want someone to sit there and go, oh my God, I'm so sorry that happened to you. That sucks so much. It makes me so sad. You don't deserve this. Like, I want someone to sit there and be like, oh, I feel for you and you don't deserve that. Like, a lot of the time I don't find like the solution-based approach to comforting that effective for me, because I'm like, I know what the solution is. I could sit here and know rationally that like the solution for how I feel or what I'm going through is this. I don't need help figuring that out. I mean, sometimes I do. Sometimes I will say like, what the fuck do I do, and ask that. But most of the time, if I'm just being comforted, I just want someone to be like, I'm so fucking sorry, dude. You don't deserve that. And that's good enough for me. You know, I just want to feel like understood and heard. And I want to feel like somebody else is angry and sad for me, and I'm not just like here alone in these feelings. What are your favorite 3 topics to talk about? I was so excited by this one because it's something that I've been thinking about a lot lately too, because I think one of my favorite things to talk about ever is internet culture. What's the crazy shit that's happening online? What's the drama? What's the jokes? Like, I love internet culture. I love like pop culture, celebrity culture. I find it so interesting, and I like barely know anyone that likes to talk about it. And so like, I was thinking about that a lot the other day, because I was like, I feel like I spend so much of my life thinking about it and consuming content, you know, whether I'm watching like the H3 podcast and consuming content like that, or if I'm just like watching video essays and commentary videos on YouTube, and like, I am so immersed in all of that. And it would be so nice to have someone else in my life, particularly a partner, who is also interested in that type of stuff. That would be so awesome, because I do love talking about internet shit. The goofs. I fucking love it. So that's number 1. Number 2, another thing that I love talking about is feelings. I love like sitting and having like a back and forth with someone who can throw thought-provoking, emotional questions back at me without being afraid of like, if it's gonna be too much. Truly nothing is too much for me. No question is too personal. Like, I love really diving in with someone and having those emotional conversations. That always leaves me feeling really charged up afterwards, and I feel excited and just connected to them. So internet culture, feelings, and the third thing that I would say is I love talking about anything that somebody is passionate about with them or with myself. Like I love talking about making videos, sort of like the internet culture thing, but more specific to the creative process. I love talking through like creative ideas with people and like being able to share my passion with them. And I love when they get to share their passion with me. I've gone out with a lot of writers and musicians, film guys. Like I feel very drawn to creative types, and obviously a huge part of that is because I love talking with other creative people about what lights them up inside and being able to have like a back and forth about that. When do you feel the sexiest? I feel the sexiest when I catch people staring at me. I love it when people stare. I know a lot of people don't like that, or they see people staring and they're like, oh, they're judging me, and maybe they are. But it makes me feel sexy when people stare at me and when I catch people not being able to look away. Because maybe you are judging me, but the fact that you can't stop looking at me means I'm doing something right. And I think daring to exist confidently within spaces where you might be being judged kind of makes you irresistible. So, I'll say that. Here's a quote. I think I'm a damaged person in some ways. Does hearing this statement from a partner frighten you or draw you closer? I wouldn't say that it frightens me, but I also wouldn't say it draws me closer. If I was with someone and they said something like that, I would probably encourage them to reframe what they're thinking and say it a different way. Because I think a lot of the times when people say things like, I'm a damaged person, they're referring to like past traumas in relationships, trust issues, anything that might complicate future relationships. And I don't like using the word damaged in that way. All of us have lived life before meeting this new person. It doesn't mean you're damaged because they didn't get to be the first person to ever meet you. The first guy I ever went out with, same guy who I like had sex with for the first time, I always thought about how like he got a version of me that no one else is ever gonna get because she doesn't exist anymore. And that used to make me sad in a lot of ways because I felt like he stole something from me. That doesn't mean that you're damaged in any way. I think it's just like a part of experiencing life, and obviously you're going to be impacted by the people that you're close to and that the people you encounter in this life, and I don't think that that has to be like a bad thing that you announce to someone. So no, it wouldn't frighten me if someone said that they're damaged, because I think what they're meaning to say is just that they're gonna need someone to be present in the relationship and really communicate with them and work with them to make the relationship work. But that's how all relationships work, and you're not damaged because you need that, but no, it doesn't frighten me. Wouldn't say it draws me closer either. I just feel kind of neutral on it because I think we all are somewhere on that spectrum of dealing with the past things that have happened to us and how they interact with our new experiences. That's it for my pillow talk questions. Thank you again to Dipsea for sponsoring today's video. Again, be sure to go to dipseastories.com/MaddieD to check out the extended free 30-day trial on Dipsea. You guys are gonna fucking love it. Be sure to follow me on Instagram because I'm super sexy. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video.